Hi, my name is Josh Baer from Capital Factory, and I'm going to talk a little bit about social media strategy. I've been on Twitter since pretty early in the beginning, I think maybe 7 years now, and most of this will probably focus on Twitter, but I think a lot of this could apply to just about any social media platform. I've got myself, my own personal account, Joshua Baer, which I think has maybe about close to 30,000 followers. And I also run one for Capital Factory, which has a similar about 35,000 followers. And then if you look closely, you'll actually see there's about 40 other Twitter accounts that are all kind of sub-variants off Capital Factory. CF Startup Events, CF Startup Jobs, CF Startup News, CF, all kinds of other things like that. And I weave all these together into a pretty interesting strategy. The first thing is if you're going to tweet, you have to have some kind of focus, some reason why people are going to follow you, besides just your friends. So if you just tweet about your life, you're just going to get your friends. But if you tweet about something, then you're going to attract the people interested in those things. So for me, I tweet about Austin entrepreneurs. And so if you're an Austin entrepreneur, my goal is you'd want to follow me to find out about all the things going on in Austin. And I want to know about those things. So I'm curating it for myself, but then I'm kind of sharing it with everybody else. And so a couple tips around that. One is generally, with a grain of salt, the more you tweet, the better. The more you send stuff out, the more followers you're gonna get. You have to put stuff out there to get stuff back. The next thing is don't just do things that are promotional. Don't just say, here's a great thing about me. How do you engage with your audience? How do you ask questions? The things that I see that get the most responses are when I ask a question versus telling everyone my opinion. Another really important thing is to just be genuine. You gotta really tell it how it is, and people appreciate that. When they can tell that you're really speaking the truth, that really resonates, and people wanna connect with those things. Now, why all the different accounts? Well, part of it is because, like I said, people want to follow certain things. And so what you're effectively creating are different channels for people to follow. The main accounts, the big Capital Factory account, it doesn't tweet actually that often, and it only highlights the most important things. But then the sub-accounts, like CF Startup Events or Jobs, can tweet a really lot about the very specific things they're focused on. So CF Startup Events tweets about all the events coming up at Capital Factory. You'd follow it because you want to attend events, you want to know what events are coming up. If you only want to know about just the very best events, then probably you would just follow Capital Factory itself. But if you're here all the time and you want to know about all of them, you can follow this sub-account to get all the details. In a similar way, if you're looking for a job, you'd want to go check the CF Startup Jobs account because that has all postings from startups that work at Capital Factory for jobs that you might be interested in. And that gives you these different channels. But then the Capital Factory account can just highlight the most important things. And they all kind of retweet each other. So if CF Startup Events posts about a really important event that we want everybody to know about, we'll retweet that from Capital Factory to get it to a bigger audience. And in doing that, we're also promoting CF Startup Events. So in case anybody from the bigger Capital Factory audience is interested in all the events, they might notice and decide to follow that account. So when you look at it at first, it seems maybe a little confusing. There's all these different accounts posting about all these different things. But because they retweet each other, they're constantly basically promoting each other and sharing followers and sharing accounts. And over time, that just grows and grows. Another piece of advice I'd give about Twitter accounts and any social media thing is the way that you name it matters. Just picking the right name will get more people to follow for you. So pick a name that people are going to see and understand what you're going to be tweeting about. And a great example of that is for a while I ran a Twitter account called Deliverability for email deliverability. And it was for, so obviously it's hard to get that name, but if you can get a good name, all I had to do was follow people interested in email marketing and they would immediately follow back because they saw that they were followed by Deliverability and they knew right away that was an account I want to go follow. So picking a descriptive good name is going to really help other people know that they should follow you. And finally, don't be afraid to amplify the good things you have using some paid media on Twitter or Facebook or other places like that. If you have a particular tweet that's really popular, you can boost that tweet. You can basically pay to have that shown to more people that are very relevant that'll cause more people to then follow you. And the way that they do that's really smart. You typically pick other accounts that you think have, that if people follow them, they'd want to follow you too. And then you can effectively promote your ad to the people that follow those accounts. And that works really well. For me, I probably got about 1/3 of my followers through doing promotional ads on Twitter. And that really just helped to magnify the growth that was already happening and get in front of a lot more people. Now that I've done that, I don't really need to do it anymore because I've reached a certain scale where it just starts to grow on its own. Now, how do you manage 40 different Twitter accounts? Well, one, I do have a bunch of them on my phone, but man, then if I had them all there, my phone would just be blowing up all the time. And so I use a tool called TweetDeck, which has been around forever and actually is provided by Twitter, but not everybody knows about. And that's a screen for your computer that shows you many different columns for all these different Twitter searches and things that you want to follow. And that lets me watch a lot of different accounts and look for the things that matter and then easily retweet them, share them, cross-post them, and other things like that. Another great tool I use is called Buffer. Buffer is a tool for scheduling your tweets and social media posts, and that's the core purpose of it, is to be able to schedule them in advance. But another great benefit of it is that it allows you to have multi-user access to your accounts so that you can easily delegate that certain people can post to certain accounts, or certain people can suggest tweets, but you have to approve them before they actually go out. And that's a great way to be able to manage your social media accounts across a lot of different people and a lot of different accounts at the same time. Another good tip is to really encourage people to tweet at you and reach out to you by Twitter. Everybody gets too much email. I get a ton of email. And so in part of my email autoresponder, one of the things it says is, hey, a good way to get my attention is to reach out to me on Twitter. On the one hand, like, why should they reach out to me two different ways, right? Like, I've already got their email, but it's actually true. If they tweet at me, I'm much more likely to see that as well and then maybe go notice their email. But on the flip side, it's causing more interactions with my social account, getting other people to follow it and getting other people to see it, which is a benefit overall to everything that we do. So as much as you can, kind of crossing channels, getting people who email you to then tweet, getting people who tweet to then sign up on Facebook, and other things like that will help grow all of your social media channels across them. So why is this worth spending any time on? Why do I watch social media and tweet about it? Why do I manage all these different accounts and spend a lot of time on it? Why do I share all this stuff that maybe other people might not share? I think it brings incredible benefit back to me. I think that, one, just having this audience is so helpful that when I have a question or when I need something, I can post it out and I always get back lots of interesting responses and feedback. If I'm looking to hire somebody, I can spread the word and maybe find someone I'm gonna hire. If I'm looking for technical help with a problem I'm having, I can reach out and find someone that's maybe had that problem before and can share it. Or if I'm looking to meet someone, I can ask for an introduction and find other people that have things in common. And that happens to me every single day. I use it like that. And then I use it to help my friends and the companies that I invest in. And that's one of the benefits that I bring to them, is that when they want to promote a job or are looking for help with something, I can share their posts or retweet them or ask on their behalf. And I always get back helpful information from them. So that makes me a lot more valuable as a partner and as an investor. So I'd encourage you to really think about how you can expand your social media following, what you can share that other people would be interested in, and how do you create some of these channels that are going to really draw in people very interested in the specific things that you're talking about. Thanks. Hope you find that helpful.